I don't know. I was even skeptical about our 10-year plan, but I'm more confident about our 2-year plan than I was about our 10-year plan.
I know it's amazing, but when some people hear it, I don't think they realize how amazing it is and how aggressive and dedicated we are being to do it in this shorter period of time. But I know that like it's at least satisfying to us to where.
And I use the joke all the time with people that are giving, if they do give us a hard time, which again, I thought it was going to be more. People are genuinely understanding. But if somebody has a little nudge at me about budgeting, I'm like, look, I got you back in 2 years. Like I'm going to be, I'll be able to, like I said, we're going to be in a place where like, hey, yeah, let's go out, let's go have some fun, right? Because like I said, I'll be having to.
That's what I almost think of more because of like once we have 2 years, thinking of what we've put towards, which is about $100K a year if we do it right. What we could do with that, like we could have our house by the end of 2020.
All right, we have Lindsay and Brian from Austin, Texas. I met with this couple back in late January while I was on baby leave and walked them through our financial coaching process. So this is a check-in interview to see how they're doing and where they're going. So I'll hand over to Lindsay and Brian now for their introduction.
Thanks, Tim. Again, I'm Brian, 29 years old.
I'm Lindsay. I'm 28, just turned 28 years old. He's the spender, I guess, or I'm the nerd. He's the free spirit. We did start with Tim at the end of January. I would say February 1st was like a really kickstart, and we started with $202,000 in debt, and our projected payoff is February 2022. So that's about 24 months to be debt free.
And I think if we're going to go in the last, couple of months,
and so far it's been 3 months and we've paid off $60,000.
Which is huge for us. And so, and to see that number is big, even for somebody like myself who, it was initially tough to budget or the thought of process of budgeting, but now when you see it all just coming down, right. And then the rewards you get from it are just astronomical. So it's been great.
Takes a budget, but it's manageable. We still enjoy life.
How are you guys affected by Corona? How are your jobs affected?
So Samsung, we went from work from home, but it was kind of later than like the other Austin tech companies. But we actually still had regular pay. There was no cuts, and we still got our quarterly bonus. And
nice.
No manufacturing numbers were affected on my side. And then Brian had some fluctuation.
You're still in PT?
Yes, sir. So
okay.
Per session.
And so I'm paid per session. So the safety net there is not as great as obviously a salary. But granted, I was theoretically making more than what salary would have been offered at my work at the time before this hit. And so it made sense for us to stick on this budget plan because, I was just, getting 40 plus hours a week with sessions and it.
I think we discussed too.
And we discussed it too.
Salary.
Right. Like that we can make it possible if I just kind of worked a little harder. And then, of course, when this happens and you got patients that, rightfully so don't feel comfortable coming in and, people canceling last minute and then, wanting to go on hold for 30 days and then having to adjust and, going to telehealth, treating people over the computer. Some people can tolerate it, some people can't. So it's been an adjustment. Obviously schedule cut in half, slowly starting to pick back up. And I think again we had to adjust for that in budget. Right. We had to go from hey now you're not making this much money, so let's go ahead and lowball it. So we lowballed my salary or what we thought I was going to make per week. And
luckily they just offered him hazard pay starting last week.
Right.
And you guys have an emergency or someone's job is affected, just push pause on that Snowball, pay minimums on everything, and just stack up cash. Because ultimately being in a cash position is king, right? So like me, I'm transitioning end of this year out of the military. I'm not investing any extra right now like I probably would if I wasn't transitioning. So now we're just stacking up cash to get ready for that, So to this point, you guys have made quite a bit of progress last time I checked in with y'all. So what kind of progress have you made since we last talked? Did we talk in January or December? I don't remember.
Of January.
Okay.
So I made our start date February 1st.
Gotcha.
That's, I think, when we combined accounts, we cut up some credit cards. And then we let you know we paid off the car last month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did that when we talked. I was like, oh, We just have student
So
loan
I don't
debt.
feel as bad. Yeah, so it's not.
We've paid forward $60,000 since we've talked.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's where. Just
to answer your original question, in case you.
We discussed that between a third and a fourth and a third. I think of all. If you put all our debt together, we've.
Because when we started with you,
knocked out.
I calculated we're about 202 K in debt, 202,000. And then with the savings we have, like what we've initiated so far, we've done 60,000 towards that. So about over a fourth.
In a short amount of time. Very short amount of time.
4 months or February, March, April.
At least to us, that's a lot of money to just throw it. I mean, something that we wish we could definitely have toward us, but we understand why we have to throw it at other things.
Yeah, because when you give that money away, they don't give you anything in return. You know, you're just giving them money, and it's not like you're receiving a product. You just see the balance go down. And you're like, oh. So throughout this process, since we met and you guys started on February 1st, what has been the most important part of the process on paying off debt and getting debt free?
I think the biggest part was the budget. We thought that we were already kind of budgeting and that we already organized our finances to a good extent, but to actually budget things down to the dollar, we realized how much we possibly overspent in areas.
And sitting down and discussing it together, and not making it so much like not creating an argument or anything, but literally sitting down, understanding where we can cut expenses, where we can add stuff in, our wants and our needs, just to kind of stay happy and healthy, not only in our relationship, but just in our lives on things that we want to do.
And looking at the month ahead of time, because we didn't even realize Mother's Day, we need to put in an item now, like we have 2 mothers, we need to make sure we have enough funds for both of them in a reasonable. And it's interesting how it changes each time. There's always something different happening that we didn't even realize, like, oh wait, we have to budget for this that we didn't originally think of.
When you see it works, you want to do more of it. So I mean, I'm the worst at using apps or looking at things or calculating numbers, but the moment somebody shows me how something works, and I'm like, oh, you can do that, or you can do that. Same thing with this. Like, so I'm sometimes finding myself looking through the numbers and just being like, oh, we can tweak that, we can tweak this, or like, hey, Lindsay.
And seeing the amount we have left over that we can put towards debt, we didn't realize we had so much left over. Like, oh, we can be a little bit more aggressive if we want to get this done earlier. But we never thought that because we never actually budgeted like we thought we did.
Again, no month is the same, right? So if you're just copying and pasting over your budget and just changing small things, it's unlikely that it's going to be a realistic budget. Where if you have your budget meeting, however you guys have your budget meeting, just know, like, hey, Brian's like, hey, I want a haircut, and if you want your nails done, just prioritize that. It sounds like you guys are on the right track, so you don't have to worry about your extraordinary spending, because you guys are on track, and you're not going to go spend $50 on a massage right now or a pedicure, so just keep each other accountable. And it becomes an issue if you start spending more and more and more. But if it's just like, hey, I want to feel good, I want to feel pretty, go get my eyebrows done, then go get it done. You guys are working your ass off. As you're going through this process, obviously you guys are sacrificing a lot, but you got to put some small wins in there and put some, like, treat yourself, so.
Because I feel like I started telling people, like, oh yeah, I've been budgeting too, like, or they're on some sort of program that's similar.
I love the people that say that they're budgeting, and then I ask what that is.
Well, then that's where it goes back to our topic with our friends. And then you're like, hold on a second here. If you run these numbers, why are you doing this? And it's just like, oh, well, it's like stuff that you would think would be common sense, but it has to be brought to your attention.
It's so much easier to, like, know where everything is, and like you only have 2 accounts to look at, kind of thing, instead of we had like 4 or 5.
It's holding me accountable for sure, because again, we'll go back to what I said, board spending. So if I'm at work and I somehow have a patient cancel, I'm like, you know what, this is a good time to get out of the clinic. I'm going to drive down the road, or I'm going to walk over to CVS, and I'm going to, buy a snack, right?
Just buy something.
Right. But this is something I didn't realize how much I did, right? And again, it adds up. You go over and, okay, I'm going to go to that gas station that I like to go to, get that breakfast burrito. Oh, look, there's chocolate milk. We get chocolate milk too. We'll grab some donut holes. Just going to splurge real quick. And then,
first month I was like
$3 or $4 a pop per day, $20 a week times 4, $80 a month on just stupid spending. When now we've adjusted to where now buy those snacks for the board eating at, in bulk at the grocery store where it's cheaper.
Yeah. I try
Or
to
just don't
focus on
board
that.
eat, because she catches me a lot doing the board eating. She sees if I happen to stop by QT and pick up a breakfast. Even the $1.29 purchases are now being cut out.
Soda drink.
Uh,
What is this? Or he
yeah.
walks in with something, and I'm like, wonder how.
And I'm like, look, this was handed to me by a coworker because they feel bad for me because my wife will not let me, or I'm on a budget. And that has been the funny thing around my work is people are like, oh, Brian's on a budget, so he can't do this. But I tell them, yeah, well, you should do it too. So
you guys have sacrificed eating out in all of 2020, which really is January, February, and some of March, and then everything closed. But
I haven't had Taco Bell, which is my baby. I haven't had that. And then again, I want to do the little pizza thing. I want to eat an extra large pizza, but it's like we don't.
I've perfected my homemade wings. So we eat wings like almost every other weekend just because we end up liking them. And then we do either frozen pizzas because he loves particularly frozen pizzas. But yeah, we've gone to like a breakfast groove to where normally we'd eat out after church every Sunday. We have not done that this year. But we haven't really felt like sometimes, if there's like certain cafes we're like, we should try to make it back there eventually. But then the pandemic hit. So we were like, well, we'll keep on doing what we're doing.
I look forward to my Saturday night tall boy. That's what I'm granted. Because, used to it was just like I would buy random beers, random 6-pack. If it was a Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Now I try to wait till Saturday to where when we have our cheat meal, we go to the store, buy our cheat meal products to cook. And then I choose one tall boy that I want, and I just savor. Right. Occasionally, I'll get a little 6-pack of a cheaper beer, but it's not like it used to be where I was like, I'd have at least some sort of beer in the fridge weekly. I know that sounds like an alcoholic, but that adds up too. So.
That's where I'm at. I just made a beer run tonight because we were out. I mean, we haven't had it in the house for like 2 weeks. But so as you guys been going through debt, you guys have a lot of different loans and student loans and stuff. Have you guys found the debt snowball to be effective, knocking out the smallest debts before the larger debts?
We had when we used the small savings we had, and I think we took out 3 student loans, and we took out the wedding rings and half the car. We were like, wow, like to see the smaller number and what we owe. I was really beneficial to me of like, okay, I kind of see why they're the whole point of the snowball, I guess. But
yeah, because when I did the math, you guys interest rate versus the snowball method, it was within like a month or two, and it really didn't make that big of a difference.
It's also nice, like kind of with the consolidated accounts, to know you don't have like so many things you're divvying out
to the other, and again, to see something get paid off feels good. And to your point, like, yeah, nothing tangible is coming back for handing money over, but to see the amount drop.
The paid in full.
It feels good now to click into it and not at least completely be like, gosh, dang. Like,
now we do have 2 really big ones that I know we'll probably mentally struggle with towards the end, but then we'll just have to look back because they all stay on there when you paid them off. We'll just have to look and see like how many we had paid in fulls to where like we're on the home stretch at this point.
You guys are doing great. You guys obviously had a lifestyle change, right? Other than COVID, you guys had a lifestyle change of your own after we talked late January. How has your support from your family been since then? Oh, yeah, just your support network. How has that come into effect?
My mom was actually a little bit more skeptical than I thought she would be, because she's very good with her money and she's debt free, which I found out I didn't even really have these kind of conversations with her that much on like, because the more I did listen to Dave Ramsey of like how our parents are doing, of how much we would have to plan to take care of, to know that she's fine. I mean, that was nice, but she was kind of, I guess, had her own way of doing it to where she still supported the idea, but the way we're kind of going about it, she's, a little bit more safety guarded. But my sister she's started having goals of paying off her credit cards and her own type of debt-free goals. But our best friends actually are kind of in the same student loan situation. And we actually, each time we have like a little win where like we paid off the car or they paid off a student loan, or they're going to be debt-free about a year earlier than us. But I talk wife, the boys don't talk too much about it. But it does come up that like we kind of rely with them because we're in the same boat of, well, we just paid off this. We're trying to be like really positive to each other.
what are you guys going for right now? So what is on the other side of this rainbow, right? So is it, are you guys looking at vacation, or I know you guys are looking at the house, but talk to me about your dreams a little bit, and what dreams you're dreaming of right now for when you're
A
done.
whole list, and I don't know.
We talked about it. We talked about ages and things where we would be, and I think that was a month ago or something.
Mine's like a house first and
Right.
foremost, travel overseas, and then get Brian his season tickets.
But we also talked about
In that order.
And kids.
We
But
talked about
I
kids,
want-
the important stuff.
I want to have a house and travel before, obviously, I start having kids, so that's where that kind of goes into effect. And then obviously we'd have a family after that. But like the big things of like self-indulging that we haven't really got to do is like to have our own place, to call our own, to have a yard that Brian can take care of that he wants. Just the freedom that we get to do whatever we want, because it'll be our money and we don't owe anything to anyone.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Lindsay and Brian. As you can see, they're well on their way. Again, they started off with $202,000 in debt, and they are killing it. So if you're interested in financial coaching or interested in any more content that I'm going to be putting out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and we'll have more content coming your way.